All right. Okay, let me share this to there. Mm-mm-mm. Give us a minute, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let me add Russell back. Hopefully, it doesn't pause or freeze up on. There we are. We're back. Hopefully, it doesn't pause or freeze on us this time. Get this thing to work. All right. So, tell us a little bit about your journey. Like, how did you get started into creating art?
It actually started when my freshman year, actually my sophomore year of high school, when I had some very supportive teachers there that helped me to develop my skill, and such as I can still remember their names. My first art teacher was Mr. Washington, but the teacher that really nurtured my gift was Greg Gone, and he was my teacher in my senior year, and we're still friends today. So as a matter of fact, he whenever I have an exhibition, he makes the point to travel from Baltimore, Maryland, whether it's a show in Chicago or San Francisco, he's there, and with bells on. So that's one of those things that I try to also make sure that my students understand, is that I'm there for them in their corner. Whatever support they need, I am there for them.
And that's what it's all about. Shout outs to all of you, all of the essential workers out there that are helping encourage the youth who want to create art. So, who are some of your artistic influences? One of my favorite artists is Basquiat.
Oh, actually, it's so ironic you should say that. I actually did, during Hispanic Heritage History Month, I actually spotlighted Basquiat for his work, his background, and one of the videos that I showed was actually his sisters. He has two sisters that talked about Basquiat as a young artist growing up with such a talented brother. Basquiat, definitely one of my heroes. Also, I would say a lot of the traditional artists, such as the Renaissance artists and Baroque artists. One particular Baroque artist is Caravaggio. Another Baroque artist is Peter Paul Rubens. But as I move forward in the 20th century, I would say that Romare Bearden, definitely a favorite of mine. I love to spotlight his work in my room, my classroom. Kehinde Wiley is another favorite artist of mine. So it's very broad in terms of my heroes, and those heroes pop in and out of my life depending on what I think I'm feeling at that particular time in terms of what kind of ideas I want to develop in my own artwork. And I tend to gravitate to those artists that feed that fuel that I'm trying to nourish as I develop my artistic ideas.
Okay, okay. So, where do you get your inspiration to create art? Like, one of your favorite paintings that you did was the peaches. I love that. I love inanimate objects. And you also did a portrait of your daughter. Beautiful. So, where do you get the inspiration to create all of these beautiful masterpieces?
Well, I think as an artist, we are very sensitive to the world around us. For instance, even sitting on the sofa watching the news, if I want to make a something that's political, I can do that, but not so much hit yourself over the head with the idea. But being a father of three, trying to do things that are relating to family. Again, I am a school teacher, so being sensitive to my environment, whether it's talking with colleagues, talking with students, let that fuel my creative juices. And then I always have a sketchbook at hand. So if I get an idea, I'm sketching it out. It might find its way on a canvas. It might find its way in the trash can. But the thing is, I have to get it out of my head onto paper, develop it a little bit. And the great thing about working in a place where I'm always around people is that they're free models. So I can ask, again, a teacher, faculty member, a student to pose for me if I have a particular idea that needs that particular face or that gesture that gravitated me to that person for that particular idea. So love working with colleagues. It's an opportunity for me to get to know them too, because once they sit for me, we have dialogue. And again, it's just a way of me getting to know their idiosyncrasies to kind of make that piece come to life.
Okay, okay. So how personal and important is art and therapy together? Because we've been in the house in quarantine during this whole thing, and people have just like lost their minds. Like, what am I going to do? My creative juices is gone. How important is art and therapy to you?
Oh, they definitely go hand in hand. I think that lately, since there's so many things happening in the news and so many people personal to me have been lost to COVID, and pretty much throughout my life, suffering with loss of parents and siblings. I am not a very vocal kind of person when it comes to talking about my emotions. So that actually comes out in my artwork. So I'll give you an example. So when my father passed away, I never had an opportunity to do a painting of him. If I did do a painting of him, it was maybe a 1 hour painting, something that was really quick. So I wanted to do a tribute to my father, so I did a painting of his boots, which he would wear constantly. My dad was a workman. He drove a truck. He was always in the backyard tinkering with his cars, and whenever someone had car issues, they always come to him for help. So I wanted to do a painting in tribute to him, almost like a memorial to him. So I did a painting of his workman boots sitting on an altar, and engraved in the altar was his portrait. So even though I never really had an opportunity to really do a really refined painting of him, a lot of symbolism was used to help me deal with the loss of my father.
I'm sorry for your loss. Yes, that's difficult, losing a loved one, a mother, a father. And I'm pretty sure him looking down, he will be honored and proud. Definitely.
Yes.
Creativity. What is creativity to you? How would you define creativity? Because there's so many aspects. You work in art and I work in fashion. So we know fashion, art, beauty, they all go hand in hand. So how important is creativity for you?
It's important to a certain degree, but I think that one just cannot wait for creativity to just happen. I think that also goes with synonymous with talent. I tell my students that talent is overrated. There were a lot of students, fellow students I went to school with, and they just waited for inspiration to hit them. The bottom line is you have to put in the work. If you're working, inspiration will occur. creativity will occur, but you have to dedicate your energy and time to put in the work. Again, there's no substitute for it. Like I said earlier, I've gone to school with many, many students, and there are a lot of artists that are out there that just, again, wait for inspiration to occur. And it might not if you're just waiting for it, but putting in the work, inspiration and creativity has a way of filtering its way in while you're working. And while you're working, that could springboard into another idea. So I think that putting in the time, putting in the energy while you're in the studio or while you're doing whatever you're passionate about, not to wait for inspiration or not to wait for that creative moment to hit, just work, because that will fuel that creative part of your journey.
Absolutely. And the motivation to keep you going. You mentioned inspiration as well. To my mom is my biggest impact. She's always been there, supported to 100%. I know your father, the same for you. So always have to have something. So what gives you the courage to keep going? What motivates you to keep going?
Well, art is just a part of who I am. But what I do, I would feel odd if I did not spend time if I did not spend time, even if I'm not physically working on my painting, I'm thinking about it and then I'm sketching. I'm always in a perpetual motion of, again, trying to think about art. So the thing that keeps me going, again, is just part of who I am. I remember there was a movie called The Agony and the Ecstasy, and it was about Michelangelo and the Pope. And one of the scenes dealt with the Pope talking with one of Michelangelo's friends, saying, he's sick and he can't get up on that ceiling while he's painting the Sistine Chapel ceiling. He said, if you would cut Michelangelo, he would bleed blood, or he would bleed paint, because that's just what he lived for. It was just so embedded into him. And that's kind of how I feel. I think the artwork and who I am as a person, I'm an artist. So I won't retire from being an artist. I might retire from being a teacher, but I won't retire from being an artist. One of my teachers who lived to be over 90 years old, she was still painting in her studio.
That's a
That's just,
blessing.
yes.
Yes.
So that's something you just don't retire from. It's just, you just keep going until you can't go anymore. And that's just part of how I see my journey moving towards. It's just that you just work and just embrace the whole idea that this is who you are, who I am, and just create.
Okay. As an artist, for you, what does beauty mean to you? Because I know you find beauty in some of the most unique things, some of the most oddest things. It can be a chair, it can be a flower, it can be anything. So what does beauty mean to you?
I think beauty to me is something that if I see it and then if I move away from it and I just can't get it out of my mind, it just stays there. And again, that might spark a painting, but if something that I see, inspires me, that becomes a beautiful thing for me. And it could be something just as simple as a work area that might be in someone's studio, or I might even go into a garage and notice how the light is hitting objects. Well, it might be hitting a car engine, but how that engine is being illuminated by the light that could be a beautiful thing for me, because I think about, okay, what are the values showing me? How is that color? How is the light affecting the color of that particular area, either studio, garage, whatever? So again, as an artist, being sensitive to those things, I count myself very blessed to look at things like that, and again, be sensitive to looking at the world in a different way than others.
Tony says, I hope you achieve that level of success, Russell. And Michelangelo was just, whoa, the statue of David is a marvel in itself. Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's a beautiful piece of art right there.
absolutely.
And Daniel asks, could we see the portrait of your father?
Actually, it's on my Instagram page. It's the only boot painting on the page. I think that I don't think I could ever remake a painting like that either. So, and also because my dad was very active in the church, I put 24 karat gold leaf in the background to make it look like an icon. So even though it's,
Oh,
yeah, even though you have like these really gnarly kind of workman boots with grass sticking out of it, um, the laces are disheveled. It looked like they are really worn down, but they're placed on the altar, and there's gold leaf around it to make it valuable, because my dad was very valuable to me. So to transcend those boots to almost like a religious level, really took it to a different realm for me. So yeah, that's actually on my Instagram page. So when you see the yellowish kind of color that's in the background, that's actually 24 karat gold leaf.
beautiful. And it's absolutely beautiful. So make sure you guys please go and check that out. Gethsemane Baptist, M. Thor 8440.
Gethsemane Baptist, yes, Gethsemane Baptist Church. That's my that was my church home in Baltimore, Maryland, if that's the same one. Gethsemane Baptist Church in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm not sure if that's the same one, but wow. Okay. Oh, it's
Okay,
Michelle. Michelle. Okay, I see Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
welcome, 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 welcome. We are sitting here with Russell as we discuss some of his iconic pieces, the beautiful artwork that he has done throughout his career, and so much more. All right, so we're going to get into two games and then we're going to take some questions from the audience, Fashion Dolls. The first game is called the Rapid Five, and Russell has to tell me five things that he can't live without. This is so much fun.
All right. Starting now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Five things I cannot live without: my art studio, for sure. My family, my church, uh, my relationship with God, for sure. Actually, that should have been at the top. And the ability to be able to have, again, that sensibility to look at the world. So those are five things I definitely cannot live without.
Amazing choices. Amazing, amazing choices. All right, Fashion Dolls, my heart is beating so fast for this next one. This is called Turn the Tables. And this is where my guests get to ask me questions uncensored and unfiltered. So I have no idea what Russell is going to ask me, but my heart is beating so fast right now. So, Russell,
My first question is, how do you find the energy to do what you do from day to day, week to week? Because in looking at or just communicating with you, you have an extremely busy schedule. So how do you balance what you're doing now to what you do on the weekends and at nighttime?
Oh my goodness. Shouts to my girl, Lady Monet, for this. She said that Miss Stevie is a working girl. And I truly, truly am. I'm always reinventing something. I'm always balancing. It is definitely hard to balance it out with family, the show, and other outside projects and things like that. And especially during the holiday month when you are just going, trying to make sure everything is prepared before Christmas gets here. So it is definitely a balance. But me, how do I find it? It's God, and I make time for myself. I take breaks because listen, you only get one body. And when God says it's time to rest, it is time to rest. And I learned that the hard way. I remember in season 13 of Stout, I did a show with a sinus infection. And after that, I said, no more. Yes, women, we are strong and we can strut with a 100-degree fever and stilettos. But for me, after I did that show, that was it. I said, okay, my body was worn down, but now I listen to my body. So when God says rest, rest.
Rest. Absolutely. Wow. So so in balancing all of that out, so do you have like a specific schedule that you give yourself to make sure that you don't spend too much time doing one thing? Because again, it sounds like it's a juggling act for you.
Yes, it definitely is, making sure that the production of this program, that the lives run smoothly like it is now, making sure that we have the interviews set up and booked and stuff. And thank God for my new co-host, Marco. He's always checking in with me, helping out as well. Do you need any help? And I'm just like, I got this. I got it. So it's been running pretty smoothly. I'm like a working machine. And they're just like, how do you do it? And you still get rest and you wake up looking like this. So definitely, it's definitely a job. But through the grace of God and help from my mom, family, she's just like, you sure you don't need any help? I always try to be self-sufficient. My father taught me that, but I try to do it on my own. And if I need help, I reach out to people. But yeah, it is definitely a task. And I always keep an agenda book, like a little planner. So I'm always planning something, always writing down notes and things like that. So I'm old fashioned. I do it that way. And then I put it in my phone as well, too. So it's definitely a schedule for me. Like, okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I need to get back this time. So to get ready for this interview and things like that. So yeah, I definitely keep track of the time and scheduling. Hey, Blue. And everything. It's a balance.
So you're never rolling the dice and just hoping that things occur in terms of, okay, maybe I'll do this, maybe I won't do that. It seems like it's really structured how you do things from day to day.
Yes, and going into 2022, like my old Instagram page got took it from me. I had to start all over. I was just like, Lord Jesus, I don't know what I'm going to do. I had 3,000 followers. And this is the rebirth. I say this is the rebirth. So shout outs to my girl, 3 times the Chief. She was just in here a few minutes ago. She said, you know what? This is a bigger season for you. And this is your rebirth. When you pass on and you go on and you come back again, a new person, this is the rebirth. It totally is. And I don't mind starting over. I do not. I've worked hard. My success speaks for itself. All of my hard work, my interviews, people will memorize who I had on the show, who I brought on and things like that. As long as that counts, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
You get to ask as many questions as you want. Shout outs to my girl, Blue Harmony. She is a dope singer. Make sure you guys please go and check her out.
I'm trying to see it.
I felt that on a spiritual level. Mm-hmm. Yes, about balance. Yes, for me, it's all about balance. Like in Blue, we talked, me, you, and Johnny, we talked, my other co-host, Johnny. We talked about that. We talked about having that spiritual balance and work balance as well, too, because you definitely have to make time for yourself because you will wear yourself thin. And I remember at one point in time, I would just be going and going and going and going and going and going and going. And then my body would give out and I would be so tired. Like
Right.
I would be wore out after. I remember I did 3 interviews in one day and they're just like, how do you do it? strength.
Yeah.
And at that time I was mad. I had to pull it together. I was angry. I said, so I'm a double book myself, and I'm gonna show you. I'm always the one, because I'm a Scorpio. I'm
Right.
always the one that is going to be determined to do something. And they're just like, well, you can't do this. I'm gonna show you. Watch me. And I did 3 interviews, and this was on Labor Day last year.
So
So
at the end of
shouts to
that day,
Joe.
so
Hmm.
at the end of that day, how did you feel?
I felt good. I felt relieved. Like, work for me, whenever I'm angry or when I'm sad or depressed, I put it into that. And the creative juices, the talking, the experience, the conversations, people can relate to it. So yeah.
Wow. 3 interviews to me, it just seems mind-boggling. I don't. Wow. I don't think I would
Yes.
have the stamina to do something like that.
And I can remember their names. It was Kevin J. Stone, shout outs to him, who's an actor, Alexis Ray Parker, who's a singer, and Joe Beeman, who's a model. We all did it in one day, 2, 3, and 4 p.m. I love that
Wow.
jacket. Thank you. I got it from Forever 21. And I just kept going after that. I just kept going that day because I was angry about something. I can't remember what it was about, but yeah. Oh, you've got some questions, Russell. Daniel wants to know, when's your next project? And Tony wants to know, how long have you been an artist?
Well, actually, I'm working on a couple of paintings at one time. Right now, I have 2 commissions I'm working on. I'm doing a painting of the mother of the head of the school where I teach. She's from Jamaica, so I put it's a couple of detailed pictures of it on Instagram. So right now I'm working on that. I just started a small still life painting of for a parent that wanted to celebrate her daughter's birthday, and so I had a one-on-one meeting with that um, with the student, and she would travel to New York City often. Her and her mother would take multiple trips to, I don't remember the name of the fabric company in New York City, but they gave me a couple of pieces of the fabric, their favorite fabrics, because I told them, okay, if I do this painting, bring me something with wonderful textures and colors. I found out what her favorite color is. And so I'm working on that painting. I just finished the first sitting for the painting, which takes about 3 hours to do. That's setting up the composition, making sure everything works together in terms of placement. And then that first sitting evolves into maybe 20 to 30 sittings to get it done. Another project I'm working on is a painting that I'm having my son as the focal point for the piece. And he has 6 arms. And he almost looks like Vishnu, a deity from India.
Live.
And he is
Okay.
protecting and praying for a crowd of people that are protesting. So his hands are up like this, and another position is this, as if he's protecting the crowd, and another position of him praying. So these positions are a form of making sure that the crowd that is voicing their freedom of speech is protected. So a lot of different projects for sure. And what was
So
the
you
other
guys
question?
just um Tony wants to know, how long have you been an artist?
Okay. Wow. Well, how long I have been professionally painting, I would say about 30 years, 20 to 30 years right now. Um, but I've always, because I'll be 51 this coming Tuesday. Feels good, 51, 51. So it's been a while. I actually started off by building scale models, to be honest with you. So I didn't start off as a fine artist. love building plastic models. As a matter of fact, I wanted to be a special effects artist in California with ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, and that's a movie company that George Lucas founded. So I was really working hard to be one of those artists that did that type of work, but the Lord had different plans for me, so he shifted me more so into the fine art field instead of that field. So, and yeah, so that's why you got to be, in my opinion, you have to be willing to listen to the Spirit, because sometimes what we want might not be the best for us. So we have to have an open heart, a willing heart to be receptive to those things that, you know, we might want to do, but it might not be the best thing for us. So I think I made the right choice by listening to the Lord and then following the path that he had set for me.
Yes, it's all about manifestation. And I told my girlfriend this just the other day. I told her whatever God puts out there in the universe for you is for you, and nobody can take that from you. So 100%.
Yes.
Do we have any last questions for Russell before we conclude this amazing conversation? Because this is so relaxing. Art, it just does something to you. It does something to you. I assume the price varies if we did a painting of Stevie.
Yeah, we can talk. We can DM each other or whatever. We can.
Definitely. I've never. It's just like Warhol. Warhol did a lot of paintings of everybody, but I haven't gotten that big for Warhol status yet. Thank you, though, Daniel. I've never had anybody want a painting of me in their home, but I had a friend. He did, like, you know how a lot of makeup artists do the face charts. He took the face chart and he took it and turned it into a actual portrait, and it's hanging on my wall near my closet. It is so beautiful. So shout outs to Mr. Imperfect here on Instagram, and he actually became a makeup artist as well too. So yeah, he took it and he turned it into a portrait. So you never know. People take the items, whatever they can find. Artists take anything and they make it come to life.
Yeah, I think currently one of my favorite, and I struggle with trying to figure out, okay, which portrait I like the most that I do. But I can honestly say the portrait that I did of my wife is my favorite one. And
And
that's
it's
called
near and dear to you.
yes, it's called a alla prima painting, which means it's from start to finish one shot. So it took about 3 hours to do. So once that 3 hours was up, that's it. So from drawing to adding color to signing my name, all in 3 hours. And that one just felt right. Now, that being said, I have done a couple of paintings prior to that painting of my wife. So I think I had a lot of practice in before I was happy with that one particular painting. So, but that's the one I think that I really hold dear to my heart when it comes to portraits.
Okay, okay. Any last questions, you guys? Daniel, Tony, before we conclude this amazing conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And shout outs to Rukia Art, who's another artist that I interviewed as well too. And I found her on Beyonce's stylist. Beyonce has a stylist, Serena Akers, has something called All Black Content Creators or All Black Business Owners or something like that. And I discovered her there. And check out some of her work. I think you'll love it. It's a little similar to yours, and you'll be like, wow, this girl is just, she's amazing. That was my very first interview, my very first art, and you're my second artist that I've interviewed on this platform.
Excellent, excellent. Oh, someone asked the question, is my work in a museum? My work has been in a museum. One here in Chicago is called the DuSable Museum. It's located in a place called Hyde Park, and also had work on display in the museum in Youngstown, Ohio. It's called the Butler American Museum of Art. So two museums. I used to be represented by an art gallery in San Francisco, but the owner of the gallery, John Pence, was in his mid-80s, so he retired. So, but I have not, really pursued any other galleries because I've just been so busy with doing commission work. So commission work has been my focus, and just doing paintings that I've wanted to do, but was kind of reluctant to do because I've always had to put work in shows. So I was kind of just working towards, okay, I got to get this painting in the show, I got to get this painting in the show. So just making sure that I'm now able to do paintings that I'm really passionate about.
Okay, okay. Someone wants to know, can your portraits and your artwork be bought online?
Yes. So again, if you go to my Instagram page, definitely you can see paintings on there. Also, my website is russellharrisart.com. So if you click on one of the images, it'll say if it's available or not. So if it says private collection, it's either been sold or I'm keeping it to myself.
Yes, and there's a lot of artists out here, whether they're musicians or artists that do the artwork as well too, that have a vault of artwork. And I'm pretty sure Russell has his vault. A lot of artists do that. Like when I had the singer I Know Jay on my platform, she said she has a catalog, a vault of 100 songs. And she says, y'all are not getting all of these songs. So I'm pretty sure Russell has a vault as well also.
Yeah, so there are some paintings that are available. But for the most part, quite a few of them have been sold. But again, off the top of my head, I really don't know. So I would, again, strongly recommend go to russellharrisart.com and reach out to me, because you can email me. Again, contact me on Instagram. That'll be great. Or again, doing commission work. If you see something you like, particular painting, that's also doable.
All right, Fashion Dolls, any last minute questions before we conclude? This was such an amazing interview, and I would love to have you back on in the future, Russell. We definitely,
Sure.
this won't be the last you guys will be seeing him here. We're going to bring him back.
Excellent.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I wanted you guys to relax. Like, throughout the week, it's been hectic for all of us. And, the holidays are approaching, and we're all trying to get things set up with families, everybody going to visit everybody and things like that. So we're trying to make sure that everybody just, relax at ease. It's Friday. It's been a hectic work week for all of us, now going into a new month, January, pretty soon. So I wanted you guys to have fun today. So hopefully this interview definitely solidified that.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This has been a real treat for me, especially at the end of a long day today. This has been a way for me to decompress and just enjoy the beginning of my weekend. This is a great way to start it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, Russell Harris. Great interview and best of luck, Russell. Yes, please go and shop russellharrisarts.com. It is pinned below. Make sure you guys please go and check out some of his artwork. I already told y'all my favorite, and it's the peaches, because I'm a Southern girl. I'm not in Atlanta, but I'm in South Carolina. So please make sure you guys go and shop and support Black-owned businesses and Black artists. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And yes, please take care of that, what Daniel said. I love you all, and we will see you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. with actor and singer and rapper Shamark Pearsall. Take care, ladies and gentlemen, and you guys be safe.
Bye.